TMP is pretty much a hobby gone out of control for me. I've told you guys that before. But if you don't know, Google, YouTube is a huge industry. And I'm talking about people who make videos within the environment of YouTube. Never mind any other websites. Huge industry. Has been that way for years. Now, I've learned a lot working within the industry for the last 8 or so years. And one of the things I've learned is that people will prostitute themselves in all kinds of ways to get views on their videos. And one of the most popular ways to do this is sex and blood. I'm just leveling with you. It is. Video that has cleavage shot as a thumbnail, gonna get views. You know, video's got some blood here or there, gonna get views. The publishers of pop culture channels here within YouTube, they know it, and they pander to that lowest common denominator. Just a little insight of the industry. That's the way it is. I don't play that way. Not intentionally. Accidentally I have. Like back in, 2009, 2010, I posted my Tenacious Cut video. Yeah, that's when that freaking first gen Spyderco Tenacious with horrible blade retention, all by itself pretty much, opened in my fanny pack. I reach in to get my keys and I slice myself something good. I think I still got the scar of that. Somewhere here. You've seen it before. Is that it right there? Probably right there. Anyways, I posted a video on that. I'm bleeding all over the place. It's kind of bloody. It's one of my most highest viewed videos. I know. I don't play that way, but the reason I intro with that is because maybe to some small degree, I might have some more blood in this KRV. I'm just giving you a heads up. It may get bloody. Because as we talk about this pretty much excellent knife, it looks like it should be called the Slysz Bowie C186 by Spyderco. Proper pronunciation, my understanding, is a Swysz, Polish pronunciation. He's a Marcin Swysz, I think, Polish designer, put this knife together in this collaboration. We'll be talking about it. But as we talk about this knife, I may bleed on it because it freaking cut me. Not bad. It's a little snip, but I'm bleeding. Show goes on. Yeah, dude. So don't be shocked. I'll put a little bit of visual balance on here. Alert Owl, TMP Shark. Let me know, by the way, if you want this as a t-shirt. Go to Twitter, actually. I'll tweet it, and that's an easier way to see it. Because I don't like a lot of t-shirts laying around, but guys may complain there's not another TMP t-shirt. We'll see. We may do one. Back to the knife, though. Pretty excellent. And I'm going to start with the obvious thing. Sharpness. Hey, nutnfancy, how did you cut yourself? I don't know. How'd you cut yourself last time? I've never cut myself with my knives. You're lying. I know, because your mouth's moving. Everybody who handles knives cuts themselves. Come on now. The reason is I just got careless. I was like, playing with it prior to the review. Came down like this. And it just popped like this to my thumb. Just a little bit of nick. So I thought my thumb was out of the way. But I've done that before with other knives. And I never got cut. The point being is this knife is so freaking sharp out of box. The Slysz Bowie knife. Oh, I mean, it is sharp. Maybe the sharpest I brought to the table in a long time. Kind of grabbing there, though. And there. Hey, no, it's not that sharp. Yeah, it was earlier. It's sharp enough to cut me. It feels sharp. Sharp enough, dude. It is sharp. Well done. Out of box sharpness, by the way. It is Taiwanese produced. And Spyderco does that. And I'm going to level criticism at value. Pretty hard, actually. I think it's totally warranted. Not going to back away from that at all. We'll look at some other options for this style of knife. But first, let's look at application, other than bleeding, of course, or making people bleed. See, maybe that should be my thumbnail there. Bleeding. See, if I made a thumbnail of just like blood pooled on the table. Oh, dude, I'm totally watching that video. That's what I'm talking about. That's YouTube. Oh my gosh, it just makes me laugh. Philosophy of use. I would say a perfect or near perfect EDC knife. I say near because it is still somewhat broad in the blade width for what I like. I showed this on a bracketed review. What I'm carrying today is a previous generation medium cold steel Voyager with my awesome JB Weld clip mod, thank you. But see, this is more narrow. I like this style better. Like, I used to carry that Tenacious all the time, but I got tired of how broad the blade is, you know. For getting in there and doing detail work, I just need to cut open, you know, this or that, cut some cardboard. I don't need a real broad blade. And then when I'm cutting media to make radius turns, like if I'm cutting out a circle in cardboard, tougher to do with a broader blade like this than this. That being said, I think the Slysz Bowie is, I want to say Swiss, I probably will during the review, is a pretty excellent EDC, and I think that's where application pretty much centers on that. Tactical, kind of. It does have some jimping. We'll look at it, but the traction plan's not great, and it's not a super big knife. Let's just say EDC. Collectible, sure. Limited edition. Gift knife, no way. You don't like anybody enough to spend, yes, here it comes, $280 on them, do you? Honestly, if I'm spending that much money, I'm going to do something a little bit more special than this knife. Just me. There are some cool blades I've reviewed that are less than that I would spring on them. Depending on what kind of person it is. I'm talking gifts here. Christmas, birthday. They like tactical blades, dig into my playlists, go look at some of my HOF blades. The ones that have real high likability, 9 or above, those are the ones you want to look at. This one, by the way, is going to have very high likability on it. Size, weight, feel. 4.4 ounces. It feels lighter. Feels like a 3.5 ounce knife. And my hand gets, you know, used to these blades over time. Here comes the blood as I start cracking that open, probably. It feels light. In hand, it feels very comfortable and pretty much just small. It feels small, and that's why I say EDC, not tactical, but just as a great utility knife. It just has such a beautiful, lightweight, elegant feel. The steel is Carpenter XHP. It's a powder metallurgy tool steel. I still haven't hard cut with it. Don't know if I ever will. They say it has, you know, rust resistance on par for as good as 440C. I'm not a big 440C fan. You guys know that. Rust resistance or whatever, but it just kind of gives you an idea. I would say medium rust resistance, and it does have 1.6% carbon. Last time we talked about it, I think it was in the Domino when I reviewed that. 16% chromium, which would indicate it should have some rust resistance, of course. Really even carbide distribution, fine edge capabilities, and good edge wear characteristics, the Carpenter XHP. Now, some others like CPM 10, I think 10V will have better cutting performance from what I've heard and read about. Haven't tested it, though. I think for most users, though, they'll love it. I'm not so sure about the resharpenability of it. You know, the advantage of having VG10, even though it dulls relatively quickly, it's easy to bring it back. So touching up VG10 is really fast. And that does have some rust-resistant properties to it. I'm talking VG10. But it's not like my super favorite steel, VG10, because it goes dull pretty quick. How about the blade shape? How about pretty excellent? Good belly, strong tip. Notice that it's radiused right here on the Slysz Bowie. Good looking. I like that. Stone-washed finish to it. I will level a minor criticism here. On a consistent angle sharpener, it's going to be really hard to lock that blade down with this small flat area here and sharpen it like on a Edge Pro Apex. And I'll just bring this to the table because it's convenient here. Cold Steel Voyager, they have removable thumb studs, easily removable with your cadet pocket knife. Just spin those off, and that's a nice flat area where you can, well, put an edge on it like this. This is my edge on this large Voyager. Cool. How about speed of the Slysz Bowie C186? Let me show you this first. Do you see an issue with deploying this knife first up? Let me bring on another Spyderco product if I have it here. Here it is. A Resilience. Notice the difference? And we're just looking at accessing the blade and getting it out in a conventional manner. That's right, this is much more accessible. This Resilience, Tenacious the same way. There's no occlusions here. We can just dig our thumb in, really quick deployment, so we can get into the business of cutting ourselves. Apparently. This one has some occlusion, the Slysz Bowie knife. You can get your thumb in there, but you got to kind of be dedicated. I kind of wish it was chamfered out more, larger hole, because it's kind of an issue. It is small enough where you can do a pinch deployment on it, or however else you want to put it out. Good. Lock up. Here we go. Again, like I always say, I wish I had a steel insert on the titanium frame lock. Reeve integral lock. Giving credit to the manufacturers, designers. That's what Spyderco is really good about doing. Timing showing right there. Phosphor bronze bushings. Lock up side to side. Perfect. Up and down. Perfect. Really nice. I wouldn't expect anything else at this point, right? There's no stabilizer on the lock bar at the price point. That does annoy me. Now, I love the Sage, and I'll bring that on the table. It's right here. It's the same way. It doesn't have a stabilizing lock bar, but it's less expensive. If you don't know what I'm talking about, is if you give this knife to your friend and he's stupid, like some of my friends have been, no names, Pocket Nester, freaking tweak the bar of a Bradley Alias. Hey, cool knife. Tweaks it all the way out as he closes it, and I'm like, dude, you don't do it that way. You'll see me stabilize it. I love the handle design on this. That is a G10 backspacer on the C186, and I like it. Properly jimped, by the way. Excellent traction there. It is a lightweight, elegant design. Not pillar construction because of the backspacer. Many torques if you want to take it apart if you had to. Pretty smooth lines on it too. Not super sharp on the C186. It's comfortable in hand. Doesn't have a lot of traction, and we're seeing that from all these newest titanium designs coming out of Spyderco, and it's kind of hard to put it on 6ALV or 6AL4V, which I think this titanium is. It's heat treatable. It's standard knife titanium they use for handles. It's good. It's not like excellent. There's a little bit of blood creeping on there. See it? Ooh, nice. Okay, so I like the handle. Ergonomically, the jimping. First up, I wish it was up here, or at least the run went all the way forward, right? It doesn't really, and the jimping is pretty much worthless. It is. I mean, I don't know if it's the Taiwanese quality levels going down, but a lot of the knives are like this. The Domino, I think, had the same problem. It's just really shallow, non-sharp jimping, and it does not lock your hand in. So, that's what I'm just saying. Ergonomics, so other than that, it feels good in hand. Like I said, clip design, a total win. Bead blasted like that, really cool. Repositionable to the left or right sides. Thankfully, not tip down like that. Hey, I love tip down. Okay. You may not like this knife then. Great lefty knife, by the way, fully ambidextrous. Durability should be good. Frame locks are good. They're not all that, especially when they don't have like a hardened steel insert that is replaceable. Value. Well, there's no two ways around it. $280 is a lot of money for a folding knife, especially a smaller folding knife like this. Says me. I mean, what else could I do with that money? I could go out and buy an equally awesome cold steel Code 4 of whatever variety you want. Actually, check that. I could buy, 6 of these for the price of that? This is also a titanium knife. Super thin. By the way, this is too, if I didn't mention it. Easy to carry. Triad lock. AUS 8A. So the steel is, I don't know, a little bit worse in some people's minds, but it works. That's wearing my edge too. Look at that wicked edge. Sick. It's a wonderful knife. I just love the Code 4 series. Hall of Famer. They're both titanium frame knives. Granted, the locks are totally different. You can have a debate all day long within your message board of which one's cooler. And you can't fault the guy for second cool. Maybe he hates this one, but he loves that one for second cool. I get it. This is a wonderful knife. We're just talking value. This was a beautiful sprint run. It's no longer available. Eat your heart out. I just haven't shown it for a while. The Spyderco Calypso in brown. What a cool knife. It's basically a G10 Endura, right? Standard Spidey clip. I love the brown. And I jimped that. This does have perfect jimping. Oh, dude, that locks in the thumb. Cracks that bleeding open. Just what we want for this KRV. Yeah. That's doing pretty good, actually. I thought it'd be bleeding everywhere. It's not at all. A little bit thinner this version was than the Endura. I really love this knife. I'm passionate about it. I just don't ever see his on it. It's a cool cast member too. Love it, love it, love it. The Endura, I'm sorry, not the Endura, but the Cold Steel Voyager series, kind of a different knife. I mean, I just have them here because they're handy, right? They're not a titanium frame knife, but dang, are they high value and do they work for any philosophy of use you want to do other than perhaps HEC. High-end carry, special knife, collectible knife. This one's a large one. Decent steel, sharpens readily. Deep finger groove, locks in the hand. You know, you got to do an underclip mod eventually. I do it. I just love the knife. I said I was going to visit this. I will. Spyderco Sage. This is along the lines, and it's a family member. I love this knife. Doesn't have a stabilizer, right? It is less expensive than this. Let's see, we paid, I don't know if I wrote this down. Yeah, I didn't. I think I'm about it wasn't cheap, 165 to 180 for the titanium Sage. I know, that's expensive, and it's produced in the same factory. It's a Taiwanese produced blade. Let's check the jimping on this one. Whoever did this one got it right. It's actually pretty good. Top and bottom jimping. Really locks your hand in. EDC, if I'm going to go with a Slysz Bowie versus a Sage, that's a really tough question, but I'd probably go with the Sage again. It's going to be lighter, less expensive, about the same pocket clips on it, right? Excellent knife. The Sages are just so cool. And then the Domino, I mentioned that one. Just happens to be hanging out right here. Domino, by the way, is 4.2 ounces, the same exact weight. It also features Carpenter XHP steel. It's about $1.85, so almost $100 less than this knife. You know, if I'm going to be honest with you, I would recommend you go get a Domino over the Slysz C186. I would. I mean, what's not to like about this knife? I wish it did have a pocket clip. I'm sorry, the deep carry pocket clip like the C186 does. I think I mentioned that in a review, right? But it's repositionable. You can go tip down. Jimping's about the same as that one, like I said. It's such a great knife, though, the Domino. Excellent. Just a few competitive offerings. But going back to it, I think really the only misses on this knife, other than the bloodstains on it, are there is some occlusion in the handle. So deploying is a little bit trickier. It is not a four-way positionable clip, and the price is pretty high for what you get. The steel is excellent. The speed, once you get that thumb in there, can't be any better. Phosphor bronze bushings are excellent. I didn't really show this. Stop pin, centering, perfect. Handle retention, perfect. Pop it out of the handle. Did a reverse deployment there off camera. I like it. If it was like $125, I'd buy like 2 of them. As is. And yeah, I might even bring myself to jimp it myself. I'd go just like I did with a Calypso like this. I know it doesn't look that great, but dude, I could just bring that jimping all the way up there. Yeah. Excellent. That's a Nut and Fancy review. See ya.